Prince Obri Yabua, any komo as an economist and banking consultant, na anope yeni kan enfa yeni entre the banking sector no na yeni no any enkomo. Mza Obri Yabua Timika, good morning and Pomboko there.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. About that Daruma BBI Boko.
Very well. Anope Yadasin so papa se wajia so. And first off, tell us in the Ghanaian banking sector, no, what are some of the peculiar challenges say more facing as a sector player na afi mo members ahodoa. In fact, womo edi juma within the sector no as a consultant no. I mean, udi edi omujume diachi any de ka ho nyina. What is really the challenge within this particular sector?
Omira, didi kai mame na wase na menchia wati for any ahefo. Na mecha se akase banking sector na I go through a lot of processes within the last few years. Na the shall see free Emra abayin make decisions say obey the financial sector cleanup exercise. Na ehwa ko hia say enyumaku ni bebre wo position as at that time no na nya de a eso ani nti necessary abayin to anamo a obesi situation na o man wo say the whole banking sector no enkonku collapse eno nam so ma banks ni bi edwumadi license ne de keka ho yegi free aban yegi di free mo nsem e ma aban take over. Now odia no achi no ana the year 2022 ekoba say aban ka amemene no na wo hwe ka amena aban na dodo na gina bosia waba free timamufo eye true bonds any treasury bill any other source of financing. Na saban betime any opportunity no obu man na esese oye bibia e friend the debt restructuring. Okay. Said the year chirichemu that debt restructuring na say e ka me de wo esese mituama 1 year no bibia sinti say mintimi tuam fama within 1 year no enti me twum no ma ba betua ka ne de ama the next 5 years. Insurance so de ba ye na say de aba ne say ubia financial and I say nipa bia out ho no ma ti say adwumaiku open no abrabo say for the next 5 years say ni anamo a me pese me den me too na o hwe debt exchange aban ye ya enya de sisi wa maman so enti kan say financial institution bia antwena dwena nkoso say bibi say beba besia ma o mu deposit and as o mu investment o makwa na ho aba asem enti ekoba se aban eko tu sa na mo no na ma the bank projection for next couple of years ni bibia eden abeboma na sesesesa na the man kan chire kase ne se wusia IFRS financial accounting standard or reporting and also koba se we change of position on investment or loan biaba the status na sesesesa and no na koba se banks no do na akoboka because sikana abandon and so in the name of debt exchange necessary writing off as a bad debt actually aban tua while restoring it back to its form. Now the major challenge that the banks liquidity. You can liquidity as a challenge say how easily and sona ubi baso oba begini sika ubi tenya de eden amano and nam say sikano dudona in the form of investment ekodi aban honom no enti ene ama banks ability so mu de bema wo betan no liquidity no ekọ form another instance so kesi e de ba ye say is the same sikana wa ban ho no ananke ye kwa akọje a ye de ba be matemam for loans enam say sikana kodi aban ho a wontimi ntua yenti the bank's ability to grant loans ekwan be fa so de ma bosia eno so ye den ekọ form si say sikana kodi ba bi na okotwe ma o ko fesika foforo afri hen ana ode akwa akutua eno so another issue a ebe konko ho ade ba ko the sa di kai kwa ba ese time ko ba se na debt exchange neighbor no na obi anim the way be see den akonti ma customer confidence and na financial sector nim kwa na den ekofom ba no de ma menka se nyame adom ekwan a aban any Bank of Ghana efa so handle sa issue no into which check report to a buy nyina since that time na didie asaba bank edumedie mu enti eno de eno asi enti wo kan nyina boma bofokasem Emma banks ni be solvency. Chese sika ne kodi aban ho no e wo so such that ene ama Bank of Ghana ese so appoint advisor edema bank bi di say UMB no manage wo mu situation di eden edema wo mu. Enti me bone tofa esusun so no ana ayi part of economy nim say yentimi ma loans so na entrepreneurs ene adwuma for the best pande wo mu dwumadie no enam say sa anya mani nyina ntimi ankoso nti no ama the pace of economic growth no ayeden aba from kakra nti no we need the keka ho and the major challenges here face banks no.
Very well. Now before we come to that na yebeko yenim no ma yenti ase ekwan ben so ana banks ne be efa so involve wo mo ho in government bonds ama wo musika dodo no I mean akwa mu sesei.
All right, me we are the can say. So if you bank dwumadie mu a ye won hyehyeye aban eden ato. Say okwa abonten na akwaje 100 cedis edi free customers honoma.
Yes.
Emremu no untimi mfa 100 cedis ni nyina ma loan. E kire say wo de be ma loan na woni pakọ ba so oba beje ne 100 cedis na. Enam say loan no for a period of let's say 1 year. Na nenso se o20 untimi mfa nkoma na enti ye nhyehyeye wo ha o proportion of deposit na wo kwa akwaje free timemu fo honom no ese bi wo ha wo di koye investment investment no it is either in the government treasury bills or accord or in the form of bonds in fulfillment of that arrangement no anema banks ni bi o musika yeden ekoma aban no na mami ade say the whole world one of the functions of central banks and as yenim sesa wudu sika koma abanya uye den na enye den enhye because the lender of last resort enti bank bia wudu medie no pe ba bia wudu sika be kwa akoshe be ma the highest security ya aban honom because beyond certain regulated financial institutions Bank of Ghana kwa ma mfo sika nye den enko ba bi bebre enti na within that banking space operations no anema banks ndi omu sika ekoma aban said the aban be nya bibia ye mpuntudwuma enti se wo he esla ni nyina wo mudidi na aban pesika dia ye mpuntudwuma o baabi was okay sa to we ya meje no ha no me de to na meje no me de kwa kwaje bosia in the name of bonds na metua no for the next 5 years enti sa na koba ya meka se enya pesami nkunya na adufu pe ana financial institutions near Nemum, it was part of requirement and they were looking for security and a moment they come out.
Very well. Now on the 5th of December 2022, and Aban Elanche a year the domestic debt exchange program. Now a ban is saying no, I mean some haircut. ISS institutions ni be enya even bondholders are individuals and so enya haircut. Now, as part of this, arrangement ben ana aban any the banking sector the details of it, even in terms of payment of their principals plus interest ebe accrue some drew maturity stages. But the general negotiations ni arrangement, aban the promise any assurance my banks and say breben and on before say wo mutua wo musika no e de ama wo mu.
Yeah. So we had that exchange now.
Yes.
Aban no extra channel. Enti structure na we ye no e o shase free the following year ebe kwa akwa akopem 15 years time. Enti ofa na say mini exact document on just I can mention but a series of bonds and what the debt exchange
Okay.
Enti bi o hono ma say bia ye esla bond esla bond no aban be ba betua no in the next 5 years. It is what TF1 ahwefo be kaya. Time as our program na ba ye na ade ba kopa financial institutions na antia say was that na aban for the year 2023 obetua zero coupons.
Yeah.
Na ye ka zero coupon na we say ontua interest bia amfanye den emfa banks no. Ana Association of Bankers any aban ko kasa ya no ye nsakra den eventually about 5%. Mamin kasa ne na men confirm say the initial first 2 tranche of coupons were necessary aban tua dem financial institutions no aban tua first one no aban tua no somewhere around last year September the second tranche of coupons no aban ne timi tua just February a twa mu yae into the first two tranche no debt exchange restructuring no aban on ne part of the obligation problem bi anya den eni honom into ekoba ne sa eboa ma banks no dodo na no the Bank of Ghana report beba bon say banks no dodo na income be kosoro amomo profit so ayeden akoso within that space na ayeden eba no into this is the arrangement into aban na che say ebia first tranche no in fact in terms of coupon interest rate ne dey obetua no on biannually every 6 months and obetua but in terms of principal repayment any 5, 10 and the 15 years in that schedule and aban aye any banks na eden atum ho ase se ekọ befa so eyum sika na eden efro enti bobo ya gidise se economy need me rebound so acha within 15 to 20 years time obi asika aban de nsa kan ye no or the woman de beden ebomom mi wo gidie mpo se economy need me bounce back na ye debt to GDP eba from bebrea this debt exchange arrangement na aban ye kwa it is possible say obetimi aye reduce no atuan earlier than expected but for now indication be en ho ekire se bibia sabetimi enti ye will between 5, 10 and the 15 years or the between Canadian ama omo ya affected.
Now even aside that development, Mzobi Yabua aban ekache ye say why establish the friend of Ghana Financial Stability Fund no ebe restore some of the buffers at the ama banks but banks will have to go through certain processes ebe boa womo ma womo timi akwa that now the finance ministry on that development on August 22 2023 make out an operational framework no besi to it say stability fund ebetimi aye ejuma. Now if you go to point 3 of the executive summary now, this is what the policy document eka. Or say banks are expected to submit recapitalization plans to Bank of Ghana BOG by 30th of September 2023, showing credible plans to rebuild lost capital buffers with a minimum injection of 1/3 of the capital required annually for each of the 3 years ending in 2025. And at any point in time, we a banker, the needed requirement, as I said, with me submit, you ought to submit it. But some of the people, and the institutions, are complaining of liquidity. Say, yeah, Kase.
Sama adwene kakra. Adwene na ne se abana embarke debt exchange. Nanka omanya ye niema nyina ye well structured and katama buying edge banks in Sikanano. It should have gone concurrently with the establishment of Financial Stability Fund.
Okay.
But I can tell you authoritatively, as I speak with now, that fund has not been established. So the
Financial Stability Fund,
yes, that has not been yet established. The last budget, then the government made a proposal about the source funding over Kwakwaje Ediabe Sejuman.
Okay.
In Tisekobaye no Nanka Bank B banks and 90 million to 2 million necessary bank B then ecolapsia and Kobeko from Ansana Yaba establish those financial stability fund. It would have been ideal and as an anchor proper time on our debt exchange in anon. Adequate provision should have made to establish that financial stability fund. Unfortunately, BBS and Afe na go through the necessary regulatory framework so they be established.
No, but Zobri Abu, I don't know na kakra because a policy a buying say why framework ni idea keka ho nyina as far back as August 2022 eba besi 2023 atwam. Now we are in April 2024 and the source funding na ebeboa ma banks etimi absorb wo shocks na afi at any point in time wo mo betimi rely on such fund sika ni ho nti yen create is our fund kra.
Mira, like I said, say a woman and go back even the last budget every year.
Yes.
The financial stability funds, I take it again, has not been established at the Bank of Ghana.
And it's a say no banks no
it's yet to be fulfilled. Now the burden of survival has been pushed onto the banks. One year you may of banks, or Sankia or Besenke. I just mentioned either last week or last 2 weeks, and a Bank of Ghana appointed one Dr. France, so supervise the activities of Universal Merchant Banks, UMB, on their recapitalization agenda. Mamenka said those assignments or those functions falls within the remit of the regulator. So financial institution be go through difficulties here because more the technical expertise, omutimi appoint members ni be emanu supervise the activities of those banks. But as I speak with you, the support now buying area debt exchange as far back as January 2023. And now say a launching in 2022, see about establishing the Financial Stability Fund so that banks that will fall short of the required and Yemen can run to them for liquidity support. But my member Bank of Ghana, so far they have handled that gap very well. We've not seen any casualty be a financial sector anymore. But on the part of the government establishment of that fund, and the BBS intimi materialize it for now.
Yes, but even in terms of Bank of Ghana managing that sector, the truth still remains is that banks air so far because Bebrenano and Nisika.
It is true. Because in compliance with IFRS 9, as soon as there shall be adverse changes in your investment, Emrane say impair you can impair. Declared it as a bad debt, and I say Yesika on Sanya then Entiminka. So on Saka, then you restored it back. So by that application, my banks recorded losses in the year 2021-2022. No affect your capital adequacy. That is, or reserves now bank and on first when you would be over the period. And now that particular loss no wunya negative other people positive and no na akoba say SSS banks and say recapitalization. So no question ahokyere den e wo system nobody can take it out, and ahokyere wo system very well. The few other liquidity ne wo mu kwa na KBA banks no betim dey abobosia no before recently. Now we say the rate of interest T-bill rate here now was some of the interest rate and banks in the charge.
Okay.
So ideally, bank be any one or dimisika loan when T-bill rate is as high as 29.33% as of November last year. Because all the Kotoa, some way somehow we perceive it to be safe havens. Now say what the assembly and Emma, but the SC or bonds in T. Ama banks are even very cautious investing in the T-bill market, And the newly a system nima SSR binding to an amount new who you better restore the whole banking sector back into its normalcy.
And even as we speak, Bank of Ghana and so are maintaining the policy rate, right?
Yes, that 29%.
And how is that affecting the operations of the bank as well? Or money of customers?
You can't a policy rate here. No, can say a bank be person Bank of Ghana na Bosia. The principle assume that no the rate here, the regulator the bedding at the Bema.
In terms of interest.
Yes, in terms of interest.
Yes.
So the higher the policy rate, the higher the normal interest rate of a bank become. It is what you for Bekaya 2022, 2023. Policy rate in the share say then cost will be banks no do na so share say we adjust interest rate, but idea koba was that we adjust na money could do be do say no, we cannot continue to push the burden, the suffering of the ordinary Ghanaians onto them because doing or it is not there making now common eye. So it got to a point that they hold on with the continual adjustment of their interest rate. And to do by na policy rate was sourcing the normal interest rate Bank of Ghana air charge. Now let me say this, that since the beginning of the year, no policy rate is what by 1.5%. I stand to be corrected though. So it has begun showing a decline there. We did this as year twice with the same pace of the economic management now. Policy rate in the better form, I'm eventual loan interest rate is right then. Form.
Now maybe sounds a question, no, because now no ability on to the next conversation you pese you have on this same subject. Now one banks no face liquidity challenges. For that reason, no, as I said, one more to rely on Bank of Ghana. Baby, ebia, one more bet me a jebosia, edia kushin, one more hono. I mean, policy rate, no, was raw. What it means is that what J Sikani Free Bank of Ghana, now what this bese in forms of loans, edia amount ne clients, and so I want to interest, no, ebekosro. Generally, what it means is that businessmen and women so are rely on the banks for loans, any idea no in terms of business operation no and also back form. If Ghanaians cannot afford, I mean, to do their loan repayment, then what it means is that automatically no the business sector and so collapse because the banking sector and so suffer. Is that really the case?
Yes. And I'm say interest rate was the cost of borrowing so was so. And said the yekano and ne ubi bia or kwakwaje boshian or bank biano ube interest rate more than 30%. Mamenka say 8 days ago Bank of Ghana said the policy rate, monetary policy rate at 29%. So effectively Senya America bank biano ubeting the loan ama or Ghana ha or beji interest rate below 29% na Bank of Ghana policy rate here then. Ewono. Inti ma dwumadie ni yeden. Mr. Speaker, can you imagine say wakwaji loan of 100,000?
Yes.
No baby tria no 1 year. U tria 30,000. Ewoso. Intu be we no say credit sika no ma ubetria 130,000 and ewoso. Enya no nko a there is also possibility of other charges. Inti technically u kwaje bo 100,000. Ube is a car over bow and then 40,000 into loan interest rate component or the cost of borrowing and then 40%. You must say, a Juma Ben, I would ba Ben or Ghana ha over turning around within that short period now being 40%. And the hard you will be crying and say, Society loan so would give Bosiana no. Yama 3 months or a month moratorium. After that one, no, as I said, Osha CTA, charge interest rate of let's say 30%. Yes, can you some fine Juma for the whole 1 year, no Pumwaka or so.
Okay.
It keeps reducing. And genuinely, businessmen within this country are suffering. And no can hold and cover so much of unemployment. At the Aban. And it's a man, I'm a businessman. Let me say I'm a capital 50,000. I would decide that me managing in kitchen na me just survive me and my family. Then some of kwaje bank bosia I expand na be family me capital na eden e dey free mensem. So there is a general challenges within the economy a yamon paye say you betime to na mo ama niema asesa ntentem. Anya ne sa the pace na aircon no ade achi bia wotie ye tie mo wiane anopa ye offices ya enkofo ba ho ene eden ebedi nkomo ekasa the suffering of Ghanaians empire bone say eniema besesa enumanimu ya no man
explain this idea way ma mene metie for last week na mene madam for baako a wono eye sofo na was a businessman. In fact, we imported television sets at the back Ghana. Na wase wakra TV sets bebre ediaba wako ya wako koyi ne container no duties nko no over 80,000 for that reason no ne bank a woni omudi djuma no as at the time na over 30,000 na account ni mo enti okoye say we apply loan of 50,000 edia so ne sika ne so. Now what the bank no told him no and say 50,000 application now what they abano, okay? For safe guarantee, no, one the 30,000 at the beton chain. Now, one we are, one more sanso at 5,000 Ghana cedis for insurance for the loan now, wababe aquano. So, in effect, Obia wano pay 50,000 Ghana cedis. And they also the 30,000, no, generally, what can in our boom. Yede when ma yeti 30 ato nchen yesa beti 5,000 e dia ye insurance ene dia keka aka ho nyina for the fear say e bia yede ma wa na wantimi atua generally wo wie ye no na wo calculate a sika nkasa e beba ne nsem ye loan no is around 15,000 to 20,000 which is still not carrying him to be able say obe clear ne niema no. Why are the banks adapting such strategies? I mean, how will it be able to cushion the business environment? In that effect.
Mr. Speaker, you will how you are mania na yanyantum as a mine. Na ya embark on a lot of reforms here. The be a better radio so akasa you are near the atoll.
Okay.
And yet the two also the problem no a beko from just 1 week. Said ye anopebia no. You recycle your how in the different form near Becania than near to a dear na Obama banks no a to sana mon.
Yes.
The kind. The liquidity question I would be Kabusami Amichiri mono. A form a part of the thinking of the banks. Say Sikasam Wyden. To get a liquidity a meme bank in Kogu. Oh Babaji Bosiani Bibi Kwa the Eddie Aqua. Na makacha say wo fa usika ni bi yeden eto in banking terms ye fe na lien na wo de eto no the thinking of a banker is that ebeboa no ama na enya liquidity
okay
be save no. The point number 2 is that ebeboa no ama na secure ni loan no enti say wadan fu asema ye kan or kwaji loan of 50,000 ya kacha say on fa lien of 15,000 to assume say or this kana ampo no konese wa ama bank ni lose 50,000 15,000 e da so yeden e da for the bank no we secure no. The point number 2 is that we must have to 5,000 e de akwa insurance. I mean add this only moment insurance no ya na mpimpi apply is whereby any pan free mu or you become permanently incapacitated.
Okay.
But say you we jane and when the insurance companies will not pay. And as part of our risk mitigation measures, our bank, we put so much measures in place. Say, or no, I'm fanajumana and kotochacha. Na dear chia, when one a jumana iodine, a buying about closing it down. It was then she say, a more thing, ever to our amount. If you need the lieno, bois for recovery of the loans and that of liquidity situation. Mamenka say, so can you na boma enye good situation by adia ba koso akofa sa nema we aba emre wo ma ke betime di ho nkoma akọ enimpa eso boils down to the Ghanaian attitude. Se Ghana ni eje bosia empempi our thinking is that sikana ye koje no eye loan. Mr. Speaker, won hu bia obitimi kwaji loan no de akoto party e wo krom ha. And emrana esese kebabo banks no ho ban ama womatima recover omu loans in 10 term. It passed through so many difficult processes. Assuming say nipa ni default necessary the court wa ekwaji usika and go through a lot of challenges. And banks like I said, omu risk measures omu de niama na hyehyɛ atoto ha on go through that challenge kwa mpo ansana. And day one na obaje bosia no or pekwan bi so secure the investment or the amount. Me did say as a online solution, we need to move forward. The government and the people, we must change our orientation. The way yajine esitie ewo obisika ho. Ghana for yajine about obisika enye the papa apart from yede no you be there by a we need to change and we also need to make a reform near the situation na ye wom no said the beya a kwan fa so je bosia ebeden ebeyefo na omo so je bosia no so no omu betimi atua so that bank bi ma bosia woni se kofi bedi no wantua me de bekwa akohye amade mu ni nyina account na ma interest rate na eden akosoro no system na betete so aba form na mo man na tima fa ntoma pefra.
Very well. Now, just under 1 minute, what will be the way forward for the government and the sector? Now, say commercial banks na suffer say how much more rural banks, savings and loans for any microfinance for no one more susun kakra krani ade no one so be dey.
Very difficult. And say the mechanic say and more about need to restore back the economy, no, they should fast track it. Na intimi eme healing ho. So what can say specific about no sika we mra na say if the whole economy has not changed its current forms na and fa ho investment bi abeye beden ebeko.
Me beside because na nim say IMF sika ye ba ye anke be cushion near makakra. Because even as we speak, the third trend, is about coming. And they are yedin komo IMF and paying for Ghana. One show your books money out there. And after say you receive the first trend, second trend, yeah call for third one. Urgent management approval, any board approval, no, still and having any significant impact on this sector. Any more operations one more undertaking.
No, Mr. Speaker, impact a bit minimal. So
okay.
Ghana for person motiasia, and now no pay young dollar rate. Very, very, very sad. And minu him say Ghana's economy 2 major things pa e bia ho kire bo man we mu the dollar rate and cost of fuel. And fa ho ne hye pa aban wo de beto. As soon as the dollar rate begins to CD begins to depreciate, Emma dollar nya hoden sene CD na and she bia Ghana ni bia ye bia no na tete aside den apansam. As soon as petrol bo be kosoro drivers ebe increase omu fuel and I say omu fare e de ama passengers buy ya no plan bia obi putting in place bia no na destabilize it. Probably everything the games have account, but in kasa. Intisani mam the dollar and the CD relationship no must strengthen. But if you ask me, the first 2 tranche of the IMF bailout na abano. Even though CD na etimia but still, we pace na CD ni go to depreciate na. It raises much concern. Sasa ban ye be before than the current IMF and the World Bank arrangement, because it looks like just a drop of water in an ocean.
Yes, because so far you're receiving $1.2 million.
Yes. I'm just last week World Bank is $300 million.
Yes.
Yet Adia Chibiana, Ubibeka said, the new finance minister last week. Amane Kase, so what check CD performance as against the major currency. He cited by as at February ending, the CD had only depreciated by 9%. Me as an economist and as a banker, it raises so much concern to me because so we say a trend or your economy need the way the shape ACTR and December yaboga phone from an area then ever and CD need to me then ejina. But fee as a December crown, next CD that so ye then and again. Businessmen never catch or say, ye did bring a year, omu 12 can cofa near my bibri. On except say Abram Becase Omukwaje on credit in December after Umatonwi Amomo repatriated to an island Ako. But currently, because say a farming season, the normal businessmen hold the importation sakra, no how economy BCI. And having at the back of our mind these 2 scenarios, and the third is IMF World Bank support na ben na se CD no egusu depreciate a esesa aban no etena sibim no review what is actually wrong with the system because despite all this support Ghana for nyina nim say going to IMF was the lender of last resort.
Exactly.
But you kura honom no so CD na ho den no kwan na eden e performa esesa o motena sinu mo sa hwe mo biem.
Very well. I'm grateful, but we'll be looking forward to having you in the studio. Now, it's on the lender situation. any acquire Ghana for so a pay back their loans. I mean, they say in Crawford, especially the business sector. And I'm grateful for your time. Nyamisha, why? So medase and Prince Obri Yeboah, a economist and a banking consultant on the major issues happen within Ghana's banking sector and the business sector no and yene wedi ho encommon. But mind you,